You see, bipartisan efforts are necessary to get meaningful things done in Washington. We accept that in the Senate. And right now, the most pressing item requiring a bipartisan effort is passing appropriation bills that finally fund the government for the next fiscal year. Government shutdowns should not be commonplace in Washington, and yet, under the other party's leadership, they have been. Almost exactly a month ago, Congress narrowly avoided a government shutdown by passing a stopgap bill that funded the government at current levels for 45 days until the middle of November. 45 days could have been enough for two parties in the two chambers to negotiate a plan, a compromise. But a few extreme Republicans got in the way. Without a speaker, the House of Representatives, for more than 3 weeks, the House was unable to take action. The House was rendered useless in helping to create a plan to fund the government. And now, with only 18 days until the government's lights are turned off, time is running out. While the House was paralyzed and unable to govern, here in the Senate, we were diligently working across party lines to negotiate a funding package. For the past week, the Senate has been considered amendments on a package of 3 funding bills, known as the Minibus. The Minibus provides funding for military construction, as well as for the Departments of Veterans Affairs, Agriculture, Transportation, and Housing and Urban Development. And I worked with the presiding officer to ensure that the package includes important funding for the people, families, and communities of our state of Illinois. For example, it includes more than $5 million for agriculture-related spending in our state, funding that will continue cutting-edge agricultural research in our state and send rural development dollars to small towns to make health care and emergency services more comprehensive in underserved areas. The package also earmarks more than $16 million for military construction projects in Illinois, funding that will facilitate training and readiness for our men and women in uniform. It includes more than $35 million in earmarks for community development and infrastructure projects to improve roads, transit, airports, and community centers. This minibus will strengthen communities in Illinois, and it's being worked on a bipartisan basis. I'm glad to support its passage and urge my colleagues to do the same. Madam President, I yield the floor.